I'm live yet. Hello, hello. How are you? How are you? So let me ask you, is time management important? Is it important to you? Is it important in general? That's a question that I get quite regularly. I also hear, how can I improve my time management skills? Is that something that you have asked before? Have you asked any of these things before? Or is it something you've just thought about before? Because time management, or what I actually like to call as priority management, is just, it's such a critical skill that can actually dramatically improve and increase your productivity, which we all want to be more productive, right? And it can also reduce stress. Whew, we all need to reduce stress. I feel like we're all living in a super high stress society. And so by being able to do something to manage that and reduce that, amazing, right? And I know that we're all juggling different things, right? We're all juggling things like work or business and our family, our personal life, our personal goals, different things that we're trying to achieve, among many other things and responsibilities. And so mastering your time or your priority management skills allows you to focus on what truly matters and make sure that you are prioritizing the things that are important to you and spending time on doing those higher priority things. But how? How do we improve those things? How do we improve those skills? I'm going to be sharing with you 7 tips on how to handle your time, and also a bonus tip at the end. So stay tuned for that. And as you are hopping on, be sure to say hello and let me know where you are watching from. I'd love to give you a little shout out. And so be sure to say hello as you're hopping on. And if you don't know me, I am Carrie Marie Vaughn, and I live in upstate New York. I am an empowerment coach. I have 3 children who are grown and absolutely doing amazing things in their life. And so my husband and I are empty nesters, and the two of us have been together since we were young. We are high school sweethearts, have been together since we were 16, 17 years old. And so we also have 3 beautiful and amazing cats that are like my kids. Sometimes I'm literally carrying them around the house as I'm doing my things, or they definitely all like to lay and sleep on me at night. But I am absolutely passionate and absolutely love empowering women to break free from feeling stuck, because I know what that is like. And feeling stuck is no fun whatsoever. And I love guiding them to live happier, healthier, and more abundant lives filled with purpose. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you those 7 tips on getting a handle on your time. And don't forget to stay tuned to the end for the 8th bonus tip. So tip 1 on improving your time management skills. Again, stay tuned to the end for a bonus tip. Tip 1 is to identify where your time is going. Because the very first step in improving any kind of time management and where your time is going is to understand where it is currently going. Like, where are you spending your time now? So I want you to start out by tracking your daily activities for a week or 2 and note everything that you're doing. Everything, like from how long you're spending in the bathroom, how long you're getting ready for the day, how long it's taking you in commuting times, how long is it taking you at different activities, working, errands? How long are you spending on social media? Ooh, that's a scary one, right? Your time is actually being tracked on your phone. And you can even look at how long you're spending on these things. How long is it taking you to check your emails? How long is it taking you to prepare and eat your meals? The list can go on and on and on, but I want you to track these things, because once you have a clear picture on where your time is being spent, you can identify things that are time wasters and areas where you can make adjustments. So this is just super key. And so I want you to drop a comment and put identify where my time is going, because I want you to recognize that this is something that you need to do and you need to take action on it. Okay. So today is all about different action steps. All of these 7 tips that I'm giving you, there are things to do to improve, and you can start today. Okay. So pop in the comments, identify where my time is going. Awesome. Now, tip number 2 to improve your time management skills. Stay tuned to the end for a bonus tip. Prioritize your tasks. So, not all tasks are created equal. So, for example, I'm just going to give you some examples here. Some tasks are urgent, right? Have you had those things that are super urgent? While others are important, but they're not as urgent. Okay. So the key to effective time management is actually learning how to prioritize those things. So there's actually this really cool method. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix. And so this is basically a tool that can help you to figure out which things you should put your all of your tasks into, which categories they should all go into. And there's 4 different things. So number 1, the first one is it's urgent and important. Okay, so a task can be urgent and important, both. So these are the types of things you want to do immediately because they are urgent, they're time sensitive, and they are important. So do them right away. Number 2 is the things that are important but not urgent. Schedule those in for later on in the day because they are important. So you don't want to miss them, but they're not as urgent. So they don't need to be done right away. So make sure that you schedule them in for later. Now, if things are urgent, but they're not important, okay, so there are these things, most likely you can delegate those things to other people, either people in your family, people that you work with, people on your team and business, your coworkers, other people that can get these things done, or maybe even hire out to somebody else, but delegate them to somebody else because they need to be done right away. They are urgent, but they're not important. So why should you spend your time doing it when you can delegate it to other people? Okay. Then the last one, number 4, which is what your task should be going under, is not urgent, not important. Just eliminate these things altogether. You should not even have those in your list of things to do at all. If they're not urgent and they're not important, why do them at all? So take them out. Because then by focusing on what truly matters, you're going to avoid the trap of spending too much time on low value activities. Got it? Okay, so I want you to drop a comment and say, prioritize my tasks. Prioritize my tasks. Drop that comment because I want to make sure you're doing it. Tip number 3 on improving your time management skills. Stay tuned to the end for the bonus tip. Tip number 3 is to set clear, very clear and actionable goals. Okay, so that's important. Setting clear goals gives you a direction and helps you to stay focused. And breaking any larger goal that you have. So maybe you have like a big goal that you want to achieve by the end of the year, or something that's more major that's going to take some time to achieve. So maybe it's a weight loss goal, maybe it's a business goal, maybe it's a money making goal, maybe it's a relationship goal, whatever these things are. If it's large, break them down into smaller, more manageable action steps. Okay, that's the key. That they need to be in action steps because that makes it so that they're measurable, because you can't necessarily measure things without an action. If you do an action, you do an action, right? So this process not only makes your goals feel more achievable, but it also helps you to track your progress. That's going to be motivating if you can track your progress. And so you can try this. This is an acronym, SMART. SMART. SMART goals are goals that are specific, very specific. Don't forget about the specificity of these things. Make them very specific goals. Have them measurable. How will you know once you achieve it? Okay, make sure that you know that you will be able to know when it's done. Okay, not just something like, I want to get better at this. That's not measurable. That's not really measurable. Unless there is a specific thing like I'm doing this way and I want to get to this level, then that's measurable. Okay. Achievable. You want to make sure that they're achievable. You don't want to give yourself a goal that's not even achievable at all. And that's something that you're always going to be striving for and never achieving because you can't achieve it. Okay. So make sure that it makes sense and it's achievable. And then relevant. Okay. So relevant is that it's actually relevant to what you're going for. All right. And then the last is time bound. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself a time frame. So I personally like to give myself monthly goals. I want to achieve this in this amount of time within this month, from day 1 to day 30 or 31, whatever, or 28 if we're talking about February, however many days are in that calendar month. I give myself that time. So that's time bound. So this is a great way to make sure that your goals are super clear and attainable. And whether it's completing a project at work or for your business, or spending more time with your family, or setting clear deadlines and milestones on different things that you're working on, it's going to keep you on track. Okay. So I want you to say SMART goals in the comment. All right. So drop a comment and say SMART goals, SMART goals. All right. Tip number 4 on improving your time management skills, and be sure to stay tuned to the end for a bonus tip. Use time blocks. All right. So time blocking is such a powerful technique to improve your time management. This involves just literally setting aside and scheduling in specific blocks of time for particular tasks. So for instance, you can set aside a half hour for checking and replying to emails. Put it on your calendar. Make sure it's a specific color if that's helpful. Maybe you're setting aside 25 minutes for a workout. Maybe you're setting aside 2 hours for deep work, really deep dive work. Blocking out this time in your calendar like this is actually going to help you to stay on task. And it also avoids multitasking, okay? Because hey, during this time block that I just set aside, this is all I'm working on. This is it. Put your blinders on and just work on that one thing. Okay. But also be realistic as far as how long something takes. So don't set aside a half hour for something that usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour, because that's not, you're not going to, first of all, it's not going to be very realistic, but also you're not going to attain the thing that you want to do in that time. So make sure that you are setting aside enough time, and also be sure to leave some buffer room in between. So if you're time blocking this, maybe leave, a good 10 or 15 minutes before you block your next chunk. Because first of all, is that maybe there might be something that takes a tad longer than you had expected, or maybe you have to have a little bathroom break in between, or grab something to eat. Also, you might have unexpected interruptions. Let's hope not, but that might happen. So you always want to be allowing little breaks in between each of your time blocks. Okay, so I want you to drop a comment and put time blocking in the comment. All right, here we go. Down to the final stretch. Tip 5 in improving your time management skills. Stay tuned to the end for your bonus tip. Tip number 5 is eliminating distractions. And we just talked about this a second ago as far as things that might crop in as distractions, but eliminating distractions is important, because distractions can completely derail you from your best laid plans. Like, you could have complete plans, you've time blocked and all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden you get interrupted. You get interrupted like crazy, and all of a sudden, whoop, it goes out the window. So to improve your time management, you have to try to minimize or eliminate distractions as much as possible, especially during those time blocks that you've set aside. So one of them can be to turn off all your notifications. It's easy to do. When you're on your computer, you're on your phone, or whatever it is, just turn off and silence all of your notifications so you're not getting annoyed and you're not getting bugged in the middle of what you're working on. Create a dedicated and organized workspace. So if your workspace is all cluttered and you can't find the things that you need to get the task done, how do you think you're going to get it done? So make sure that you have an organized and neat space that you're using to work on whatever the task is at hand, or have the tools necessary nearby. Okay. And also maybe even provide yourself with a checklist of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing. As organized and clear as you can be in that time and in that area is best. Also, set some boundaries and let other people know when it is that you are time blocking out. So whether you're sharing your calendar with other people, or at least just saying that you're busy during that time, so they know, hey, I'm unavailable and I cannot be accessed during this time. I'm busy. Or maybe it's people in your house. So maybe it's going in a room and closing the door and letting your family members know, hey, I'm going to be busy during this time. Okay. So I can't have any interruptions. Please don't knock on my door or ask me things during that time unless it's an emergency. Okay. So things like that. And maybe even you can't close your door or go into a different area. I mean, I've even gotten stuff done in my car before because it's a place where you can just be without having disruptions. Not driving, of course, but just being in the car and having your phone or your computer right there and just being where you can be alone. There's all kinds of creative things you can do. I've even seen people work in a closet before or put on a certain hat to indicate to their family, when I'm wearing this hat, this is my work hat and this is when I can't be bothered. So whatever it takes, okay? And so I want you to drop a comment, eliminate distractions. Drop a comment, eliminate distractions. Awesome. Here we go. Tip number 6 in improving your time management skills. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end for your bonus tip. All right. So tip number 6, this one's a hard one, although it can be easy and maybe you're already good at this, but this was a hard one for me. Learn to say no. I know it can be hard, especially if you're a giver and you just love helping people. It's so easy to say yes to every little thing. But it is literally one of the hardest parts of time management is recognizing that you literally don't have to say yes to everything. You can say no, and it doesn't have to hurt other people's feelings by saying no. It actually helps them to respect you and your time more if you have to tell people, no, I'm so sorry, but I can't take that on right now because my time is prioritized on other things already. It doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to hurt feelings because taking on too many commitments can lead to overwhelm and burnout, and it can lead to you doing things that are not on your top priority list. All right. So learn to say no when your plate is full and also when things don't align with what it is that your goals are. Know what your goals and your priorities are and know when things don't align with that it's okay to say no. All right. So that's an easy one, but it's also very, very hard, right? So I want you to drop in the comments, just say no. Did you guys ever do that DARE program when you were in school? I know that they always had that, the DARE program, just say no to drugs. Okay, here we go. Tip number 7, last tip, but actually there's a bonus tip, so stay tuned. Review and adjust regularly. So I know that so many of you think that by putting a plan of action in place, it's almost like it's a set thing and I can't change it. I can't waver from it. But it is actually okay to change things up. Learn from previous weeks to know how you can better schedule things the coming weeks. Okay, so be flexible, be in movement, review and adjust. Review and adjust. It is an ongoing process and it is a practice. You're not going to be just brilliant at this right off the bat. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. So at the end of every week, maybe set aside time, block yourself a specific time on the weekends or something where you can review where your time was spent the week before. How did you do with meeting your goals or taking the actions that you set out to do? How were your time blocking? And decide, okay, where did I struggle? Where do I need to tweak things? And give yourself some feedback, but give yourself grace too. Don't be hard on yourself if things didn't go exactly as you had planned, because again, this is a practice. You're not going to be perfect at it. And so just be super open-minded with yourself and super flexible and just say, okay, this is what worked. This is what didn't work. Here's how I'm going to tweak so that I can get better this week. Make sense? So drop a comment, review and adjust. Review and adjust. Drop that comment. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Here's your bonus tip. Bonus tip for the day is to take control of your time and achieve your goals by getting help. All right. So you can improve your time management skills basically by continuing to take practice, but it's also a game changer if you can get help with these things and be given the tools and the resources to get you to that next level. So these were just some tips, some little hacks that I thought would be helpful to share with you today. But if you really, really want to take control and fully rebalance your life and master your wellness and time, I want you to hop in to my Life Rebalance Mastering Wellness and Time course. It is starting right now and you can sign up today. I'm actually going to see if I can pop something up on my screen, but you'll want to go to building-upward.com/rebalanced. And this is going to take you to that next level. And it's going to take it in a shorter amount of time. So rather than struggling with these things over and over again, let me hold your hand and walk through these things one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, so that you can really get a handle on this. Because all of a sudden, once you can master this, all of a sudden things fall into place. You start taking care of yourself better. You start prioritizing the things that really matter to you. Think about being able to do all of the things that you love and enjoy on a regular basis. Because how many times do we put off doing the things that we love? How many times do we put a pause on our workout routine, or going out with friends, or spending time with family, or doing those activities that we love, or maybe even trying a new activity? Maybe there's something that you want to try. Is there like a hobby or a craft or a skill that you want to learn, something that you have been putting off because you're like, oh, I'll do that someday? Doing that someday is always something that so many of us say, especially when you are busy and stressed out, especially when you're a parent or a business owner, and there are so many things on your plate. You have so many responsibilities and all of these things going on in your life. And you're like, how can I manage all of this? Plus add in something else. It seems impossible, right? It's like, I can't even handle the things that I have on my plate and on my super long to-do list. How am I going to go do the fun things that I want to do? How am I going to even possibly carve out time to learn a new skill or to pick up a new hobby? I don't even have time for hobbies. Have you ever thought any of this stuff or said any of this stuff out loud? Because we all do. I feel like there's always times where we're always pushing things away that we know we really, really want inside. And so stop doing that and start learning. And I am here and ready to help you and hold your hand and walk you through the different things, give you the tools and resources that you need to start getting a handle on it and just rebalancing your life. Balancing things is just such a good visual, right? So picture yourself like balancing, walking on a tightrope or on like a skinny log or something like that. And you've got all of these things that you're trying to balance. You've got your family, you've got your work, you've got all these things. And just picture them being these big like boulders that are being pressed down, and you're trying to juggle them all and balance walking along. And just, can you imagine if there's something to just lift them up, take them off so that you can just walk across freely? Or maybe there was something to just even it out a little bit so that it's not keeping you off balance. It's keeping you balanced, and then you can walk along nice and smoothly. Picture that, how amazing and freeing that will be. So I want to do this along with you. Hop into the Life Rebalanced course and let's do this together. I'm so excited to see you transform and start mastering your life, your wellness, your time. All right, so let's do this together. Grab this and pop a comment in here. I'm rebalancing my life. I'm rebalancing my life. I want to see the comment. Raise your hand. Let's do this together. But I'm in if you're hopping in. If you've already dove into this, I want to know who's already in. I want to say hello. I want to make sure to welcome you. So make sure that if you already have this course and you're already diving in and you're already doing the things, say, I'm already in. I want to hear it. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that these tips were helpful, and I cannot wait to see you in my course. This is going to be so exciting. I can't wait to help you along with rebalancing your life. So have an absolutely amazing rest of your day, and I will see you again very, very soon.